is a replica of one used by Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan learned from the Chinese how to build a catapult, and then he used the catapults against them. This picture comes from an ebook from Gale eBooks called Genghis Khan and the Mongol Empire. So if you would like to learn some more about Genghis Khan and the way he ransacked China and Europe, please check out this resource. And in the Middle Ages, they were still using catapults. This is a medieval catapult. Also, the picture came from ImageQuest. Now, Galileo was very interested in catapults, and he was the first one to determine, accurately describe projectile motion. Projectiles are the objects that are thrown from the catapult. And he was able to show that the projectile is controlled by two independent forces, by two independent motions, by force and by gravity, that work together to create a precise mathematical curve. Also, Leonardo da Vinci was very interested in catapults. He drew many designs and depictions of them. This picture here is one by Leonardo da Vinci, depicting a really interesting design for a catapult. This image also came from Britannica ImageQuest. And today we still use catapults. This picture shows airplanes on an aircraft carrier. Aircraft carriers use catapults to help shoot the planes off the aircraft carriers because they have very short runways, so they need much more force to become airborne. And as I said, I found some of this information on our online resources, so I hope you'll check them out. I used both Britannica ImageQuest and Gale eBooks to research some information about the history of catapults. All right, now that we've learned some of the history, we are going to build our own catapult. So our catapult is going to be very simple, and we just have a few items you might find around the house to put it together. First, we're going to have a plastic spoon and a popsicle stick and a pencil and 2 rubber bands. Besides that, we are going to use some foil and just some little scraps of paper to use our projectiles or the balls we are going to shoot from the catapult. So let's get started. Let's get started putting it together. So first, you're going to take a popsicle stick and 1 rubber band. And you're just going to wrap the rubber band around the end of the popsicle stick, so it's nice and tight, and maybe just a ½ inch or so down from the end of the popsicle stick. All right, now you're going to hold up your spoon with its back to the popsicle stick. So just like that, and you're going to use your second rubber band to attach them together. And you do want the spoon to go up over the end of the popsicle stick. All right. And then we just twist up that second rubber band, nice and tight, to hold the spoon on. All right, and the last piece is going to be the pencil. The pencil is the fulcrum. That is going to give us the angle at which we shoot our projectile. Okay, so you see that we have the pencil, and it's that top rubber band that is holding the pencil in place. And the pencil is pushing the spoon out away from the popsicle stick, just so. All right. So then we're going to take our foil and we're just going to couple it up to make a little ball. Now, when you shoot your catapult, you need to think about safety. You can only use it with very soft items. So paper or foil are fine. You could also use a marshmallow or a ping pong ball or a cotton ball, but never use it with any hard item. You could hurt somebody, you could damage your house. So please take care when you use your catapult. That's part of being a scientist, is thinking about safety. All right, so we have our catapult and we have two balls here. One is paper, one is foil. And just for fun, we're going to make a second catapult. So we're just going to do that action again, the same thing. So we're going to take our first rubber band and just go around our popsicle stick. Right at the top there. And hold up the spoon. Maybe a little bit higher there. Okay, and wrap around the second rubber band. Okay. And again, we're going to put in, I need to push that down just a little bit. And we're going to put in our pencil to act as our fulcrum. So now we have another fully functioning catapult. All right, now we're going to try launching our catapult. So to launch our catapult, we simply put our foil ball or paper ball in the scoop of the spoon. We want to pull back and then release it. And then that launched our projectile. So we do it one more time. All right, and we're going to look at a couple of different factors here in the way we launch our ball. First, we're going to look at force. So when I'm launching this, I'm only pulling back a little bit, and it only goes a little ways into the air. But what if I pull it back a little further? So fortunately, I did make extra foil balls. Another good source for foil are chocolate candies. So if you happen to have any of those around the house, save up those wrappers, and you'll have plenty of projectiles for your catapult. But what if you pull it back even further? Let's see, what do you think will happen? Do you think it will go further, or do you think it'll be the same? Let's have a look. Well, that was definitely further. I think it hit my lamp, but it was a good thing it was soft. It didn't hurt the lamp. So you see that the more force you use to pull back your launching mechanism, the more force will go into the firing of your projectile. So the more force means the longer distance, the higher and further your projectile will go. Now, another thing you're going to need to think about when you're launching your projectile is the angle of which you're shooting. So far, we've pretty much just been shooting straight up. So we keep our projectile, keep our catapult flat and let it go, and it pretty much goes right up in the air. But say we wanted to aim at something. Say we were laying siege to a castle. It's not going to help just to send it up in the air, then it's just going to land on us. We want to aim it at our castle. So we're going to have to put our catapult a little more upright. So it goes much further horizontally, not just vertically. Now, one issue you can find is that if you're too upright, then your your projectile is just going to fall out of your catapult. So we're engineers, so that means we have to refine our design. So there are a few ways you can do that. So I made another catapult earlier, and I just took a little piece of paper from a mini cupcake paper and taped it onto my spoon. And you see this holds in our ammunition just a little bit better, so it doesn't fall over. It'll fall out when we go a little more upright. But another thing you could use, if you have one, is if you have a bottle cap, you could just tape that right on, and that would work as well to help hold your ball on your spoon. Now, what Galileo found is that there is an optimum angle to get the longest shot. So he found that if it's too flat, it's just going to go straight up and not very far distance-wise. But if you have it too far upright, then it's going to fall too fast before you get to your object, the object of your attack. He found that 45 degrees was the optimum angle to get the furthest shot from your catapult. So now that we've learned a little bit about the science and how better to aim your catapult, let's look at what happens when we actually attack a castle. So we have a little game we're going to play today called Storm the Castle. And I made myself a castle, and it was pretty simple. I just had a piece of cardboard around, so I drew a castle on it. I cut it out. I cut out some openings to shoot for with my ammunition. I assigned different points to each one. So the little one in the center is worth 10 points because that's small, hard to get in. And I have two 5-point ones and one 1-point one. So if you want to play this game, it's a lot of fun. You can get your friends together and maybe each take 10 shots, and then you can see who is the best attacker of the castle. So let's give this a try. All right, so I'm going to use my catapult that has the little paper on it to help me hold in my the balls to keep them from falling. And let's see how well I can aim for this castle. 10 points, first try. Not bad. Let me try again. That was too high. Maybe I need to try to go down and maybe not pull back quite so far. Yeah, that was not quite far enough. That was close. That one bounced back, so I get a free shot. Too far. Let me see if I can aim for the 1-point one. No, see, aiming sometimes can take a lot of practice, but the more you work at it, the better you will get. There you go, 1 point. So this could be a fun thing to do with your friends or your family, just to pass some time on a long summer day. All right, I want to thank you for joining me in building catapults and storming my castle. I do want to point out some of the resources I found that were really helpful for me when I was researching this topic, aside from the library's online resources, which were awesome. I also used some other online sources, and I'd like to show you those. As I said, here are some of the library online resources. And I also did a little bit of research online. I found a terrific website called Storm the Castle. That's just stormthecastle.com. Had many, many projects. It had projects of building castles, paper castle or cardboard castles you can build yourself, some that'll fit on the tabletop, some that are much bigger, as well as many different catapult projects that could be a lot of fun for you and your family to try together. And in looking up the science, I found some wonderful resources at scientificamerican.com. There was an article about building a catapult that talked a lot about the science behind it, as well as teachengineering.org had as well a lesson on teaching catapults and how they work. So it was so useful for me to be able to do that research. And another wonderful resource are some of the books in our catalog. So we have a book that is available when we open, when we're able to put books on hold. I hope you'll look it up. It's called Projectile Science. The physics behind kicking a field goal and launching a rocket with science activities for kids. And also Curious Jane, Science and Design and Engineering for Inquisitive Girls. And I'm sure in those books, you'll be able to find all kinds of fun projects to keep you busy and keep you learning. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun. And please remember to check the library's website for some of our other virtual programs. We have some most every day of the week, and we work really hard to bring them to you. We hope you enjoy them. And thank you, and we miss you guys, and we're looking forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.
Excitement and adventure are around every corner this summer at your library. Create your own literary wonderland at home. Immerse yourself in our never-ending online library. Learn new skills, explore virtual events, and connect with your community in a whole new way. Starting May 18th, the Prince George's County Memorial Library System